Metјu Loson, welcome Ambassador. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Thanks very much, Labis. It's great to be on your show again.
Ambassador, the Prime Minister Starmer and Prime Minister Mickoski have already announced the strategic partnership and the government-to-government agreement at the European political community that happened in Tirana, Albania. You also hosted a press conference this weekend with the Prime Minister Mickoski, and you talked about these two agreements. But can you tell us what do these documents, what does this strategic partnership mean for the UK-Macedonian relations and for the citizens?
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for having me on the show. I think this is a really pivotal moment in our bilateral relationship with the UK with North Macedonia. I think, as you heard from our Prime Ministers, what we've announced is a strategic partnership, and within that, a new government-to-government agreement that will really set the scene for greater British trade and investment here. The reason we're doing this is that we have a trade treaty with you. It was signed 5 years ago, but we thought on both sides it's high time to really put into a strategic partnership all of the great work we're doing and then take a step change to go even further. So what your viewers are going to see is even closer cooperation with the UK on important issues as NATO partners. As I said the other day, we are training your armed forces. We're ready to fight it in NATO alongside you as NATO partners. We have fantastic cooperation on everything from global issues and foreign policy, and we're going to be doing more of that. We have your education minister in London this week at the World Education Forum, so we're looking to cooperate on education and culture, and of course deepening our cooperation on countering organised crime and migration. But really, perhaps leaving the best for last, as our largest, we are, I think, your second largest investor according to your figures in this country, and over half of the UK's trade in the whole of the Western Balkans is with North Macedonia. So really this is at its core, and particularly with reference to the government-to-government agreement, about bringing a step change in that already really strong economic and trade partnership. We as the UK are a free trading nation, and we think that this is another step change. We've been working really hard with setting up a new British Business Association. We have a fantastic array of businesses here who are already investing, and we wanted to deepen that relationship even further. So the government-to-government agreement that we're signing this week in the UK is a part of that broader strategic partnership, and we really hope that this will further create a step change in investment, hundreds of millions of pounds of value to our economy as part of the UK government's growth strategy, and hundreds of millions of pounds of value to your economy, which I am certain that citizens will see.
How will the citizens benefit from this? What does this mean for our viewers, for our citizens in our country?
Yeah, thank you. It's a really good question. I mean, I think you had the Deputy Prime Minister on your show last night, and he was talking about some of the concrete things that the government-to-government agreement will support. And initially, the government has requested that the agreement focuses on strategic rail infrastructure and on healthcare. So really concretely, if what your citizens can expect to see is healthcare, new healthcare facilities, and built to UK standards. An important component of the government-to-government is that we'll be working with our National Health Service to bring in the expertise to support the private sector contractors to do the building, and building everything to very high standards. And then really importantly, a new rail link, renovating the Corridor 10 rail link, which the government has requested support on. And this is about bringing a fantastic new rail link to the country, which will really should hugely benefit the economy, provide high-speed rail between the Greek border and the Serbian border. So this is about revolutionising trade through North Macedonia as an important transit corridor. Of course, this is vitally important for Central Europe as well, and it's vitally important for us as the UK that we can really support concrete projects that will benefit citizens.
Ambassador, media have been reporting on the migrant return hubs. You said that these were not part of the agreements, not part of these documents. However, the press release from number 10 stated that Macedonia will join the Joint Migration Task Force. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between the two?
Thanks. Well, thanks for asking the important and the difficult questions. This is really important, and part of our focus for the UK is defending press freedom. So thanks for asking these questions. I think, as I said in the press conference on Saturday, I think the Joint Migration Task Force, which our Prime Minister announced and together with your Prime Minister, this is about upstream police force cooperation. This is something that we want to see even more of. We've left the European Union, so we need the same kind of arrangements in terms of cooperating to fight the scourge of organised crime, to fight the criminal gangs that are bringing people and other illicit commodities from countries through the Western Balkans to the UK. So what this is really about is that upstream, deepening that upstream cooperation. So police forces working more closely together, sharing intelligence, working more effectively on the borders, to stop and break these criminal gangs. So I don't think citizens won't see much of that. That's a lot of institutional work behind the scenes with our Ministry, Home Office, and your Ministry of the Interior. But we're bringing our agreements into line to tackle what is a real priority for the UK government, migration and countering organised crime, together with what other European partners already have. So that's really important. Now, that is hugely different from an issue of returning migrants back from the UK to other countries. So I think in essence what's happened here is that there was a lot of speculation in the British press about what would or wouldn't happen at the European Political Community meeting with all other countries there, and that's kind of got mixed into something we've been working on for a long time, which is this country joining the Joint Migration Task Force. The UK, Kosovo and Albania are part of that, so we really welcome that agreement, and that's what was agreed.
Well, thank you for clarifying this issue. You announced that you will be accompanying the Deputy Prime Minister Nikolovski and the Macedonian delegation to the UK for the signing of the government-to-government agreement. What are the next steps after this announcement? Yeah,
thanks very much. And we're looking forward to hosting the Deputy Prime Minister. We're also hosting his close colleague, Deputy Prime Minister Majiti, as well. So we're just finalising arrangements for a big government delegation. I think it's really important to get the signing over the line. You'll see a statement on Thursday from our Minister for Exports, Minister Thomas, together with the DPMs. What happens next is I think we have some negotiations still to do on complicated issues of financing and tendering, and I think you'll see a set of announcements from the government as to how this is going to work. That's of course up to your government to decide exactly, so we're supporting all of that. And then I hope really quickly that we'll see the first signs of how this is going to work in terms of building those hospitals and building the rail infrastructure that we're talking about. So the idea of all of this, and something your government has made the request, is that the UK can provide this at speed. So that's what we're going to try and do.
Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us
so
tonight, and thank you for the information that you shared with our public.
It's a pleasure.